Good evening, welcome to this week's meeting of the Norton Select Board's meeting. I'd like to thank you all for coming. We're going to do a roll call. First of all, we have Mr. Rich and Mr. Marsan on Zoom. Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Luciano, and myself are here in person. I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I do allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have a joint meeting with the Planning Board, public hearing on proposed zoning changes for the town meeting, Article number 3 and 21. I would like to recognize, I believe, Acting Chair Mr. Griffin.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
if you
Kimball.
want to take over, convene, that's up to you. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. I'll call this meeting of the Norton Planning Board to order for Thursday, March the 12th. We have 6 members here in person and 1 member, Alan Booley, joining remotely. So just to kind of give everybody a brief here, as you can see on the screen, this is to discuss both Article 3 and Article 21 planned for the town meeting warrant. Article 3, all this is as printed in the warrant, would make 3 specific changes to the zoning district dimensions table for the village center core zone. In effect, would be removing 1 story of potential height for buildings in that zone, reducing the maximum height of the building in feet from 60 to 45, in stories from 4 to 3, and then reduces the height of chimneys, domes, spires, etc., to the 65-foot height in every other zone. So it just brings it in matching with everything else. And then Article 21 is 1 definition clarification, or I should say 2, for mixed-use development and top-of-the-shop housing. This is something that we did try to address in the larger recodification, but this is something that, given a lot of the recent applications for mixed-use development the planning board is seeing, we felt that this was something that we really needed to put forward here as an initial step to try and close what we felt was some imprecise language in the previous definitions around mixed-use or top-of-the-shop, where it didn't give enough clarification as to what commercial uses qualified for mixed-use development. And we want to make sure that those zoning rules function as intended. So, open to questions or comments on either of those from select board members or anyone else here.
Mr. Chairman?
Rob, would you mind coming to the
You're
mic?
going to have to come to a mic.
You have to come to a mic, please.
Yeah.
Would it be accurate to say that these collectively do also address what is a public concern about multifamily housing coming in, that this actually tightens the rules up on that?
I would say both of these are intended to, I think, tighten a little bit in terms of multifamily housing, yes.
Thank you very much.
Any further
Mr.
questions?
Chair?
It's Mr. Marsan, I believe.
Yes. I just have a question as far as multifamily. I'm trying to just make sure that we're clear that multifamily and top of the shop are 2 different issues. I don't understand how top of the shop having multifamily in it isn't multifamily.
So, thank you, Mr. Marsan. I'd say that they are different in that a mixed use or a top of the shop building is different than a full-on multifamily building. But the reason that what we're doing in terms of addressing the definitions for these, and Mr. Warshall, I'm not sure, I think you have a better way of describing this than I think I have in past meetings, but basically makes sure that the idea of top of the shop development is that the commercial aspect of the building provides more economic benefit to the town than just a pure mixed multifamily building, and that we didn't feel like the existing definitions put enough weight on what that commercial should include to support the multifamily aspect.
Yeah, I guess in the simplest way I could put it is we updated the definition to make sure that the uses inside of a top of the shop development or a mixed use development only include the uses that would normally be permitted within that district. And that's all.
So I guess my question is, if it only allows what's allowed in that district, that if multifamily isn't allowed, but it is allowed if you have commercial on the first floor?
If multifamily is not permitted within that district as a use, when somebody builds a top of the shop housing development, they would not be able to include multifamily. They would only be able to add the forms of residential that are permitted in that district. It might be a single family, it might be a duplex, it could be a fraternity, a dormitory, it could be some other residential use, but it wouldn't be a use that's not permitted.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments on either the Article 3, which has the reduction in height for village center core, or these definitions, which are Article 21? And I'll note that Article 21, the definitions, and Paul, you can correct me if I'm wrong, these are exactly the same definitions that we did have in the new district that we created. So we're not, this isn't new language, we're just putting language that already exists into a different section of our bylaw.
So is it in two places now?
It currently only exists in the language of the MBTA district. So the MBTA district is already protected from that loophole, but the rest of the town isn't. Because the MBTA was accepted through town meeting, the rest of the bylaw change wasn't.
Gotcha.
I'm not seeing a whole rush of people to the microphone here. Do we have any additional comments? Do we want to?
Mr. Chair, we would have to open the public hearing.
Sure. So in that case, I will go forward and open the public hearing on this for further public comment.
But it would be a vote of both boards to open the public hearing.
Okay. So I'm happy to make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. And want both boards to vote independently, correct? Or
Yes.
Yeah, we'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
okay.
Second.
Okay.
Oh, so moved, I should say.
A motion by Mrs. Luciano. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Marsan. Mr. Marsan?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mrs. Luciano?
Yes.
And I vote yes also.
Okay.
Chairman?
I need to do roll call for the planning board as well. Eric?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Rob?
Said my name. Yeah.
Alan?
Getting crazy.
Alan, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay, and I will vote yes. There's somebody on the Zoom who's got a little bit of background noise, so just try and mute your lines, please. So I believe the public hearing is now open. So look for public comment. Thank you for the procedural assist there.
Mr. Chair, Select Board, make a motion to close the public hearing.
We have a second?
Second.
Mr. O'Neill first, Mr. Rich was second. Roll call, Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Marsan,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. Luciano,
Yes.
and I too vote yes. Mr. Chairman?
And I believe the planning board would need to follow the same step here. So I'll be looking for a motion to close the planning board public hearing as well.
So moved?
Okay. We have a motion and a second, so we'll go through the roll again. Eric,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Yes.
you didn't wait
Yes.
for me this time. Steve, yes.
Didn't have it
Rob?
last time.
Rob? Yes. Alan? Okay. And I will vote yes as well. So the public hearing is now closed. Any further action that we'd like to take in terms of, so I think both boards would be looking to either vote to recommend the article to town meeting or propose amendments. So,
We'll follow your lead. If you want to make a motion to approve allowing us on the warrant for the town
Yeah.
meeting, I would encourage you to do so.
okay. Any preference on one motion for each article would generally be my default there.
Yep,
Yep.
one at a
So,
time.
would anybody like to make a motion to recommend to town meeting as printed?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Go through the roll again
Article 3 or both?
for Article 3. Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
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 And Alan? Okay. And I will vote yes as well.
Chair, I entertain a motion to support Article 3 on the annual town meeting.
So moved.
You have a second?
Oh, second.
A motion is second. Any further discussion? If not, Mr. Rich? Mr. Marsan? I think we lost a couple of people.
See Alec on there. Alec, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you guys.
Okay, we need we have a motion on the floor. We're looking for a motion
I can
to
hear him.
approve. Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve Article 3. Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Marsan?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Luciano?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Mr. Chairman?
Okay. And do we have a motion to vote to support Article 21 at town meeting as printed?
So
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion from Eric and a second from Bridget. And we'll go through with the roll call here. Eric,
No.
Frank,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Rob? Yes. Alan?
Yes.
And I will vote yes.
Chair, I entertain a motion to approve article, or support article, or rather, Article 21 on the annual town meeting.
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
Second.
Oh, Al's.
A motion second by Mr. Rich. Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Marsan?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mrs. Luciano?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Mr. Chairman?
I believe that concludes the business for our joint committee hearing. So with that done, I'll look for a motion to close adjourn the planning board portion of this joint session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion from Eric and a second from Steve. I'll go through the roll one more time here. Eric,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Bridget, Steve,
Yes.
Rob, Alan,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. So the planning board is adjourned, and we leave you to the rest of your agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda for the select board, appointments, resignations, and retirements. We have the reappointment of Kathy O'Brien as a tenant member of the Housing Authority. Captain, you here? We have the Housing Authority representative here also. Would you mind coming up, please, for a second?
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about Kathy. Tell us a bit about yourself and why you want to serve.
Well, I have been serving since July of 2024. I took over Jim Dinsel's.
Okay.
So at this point, I would love to continue. I enjoy it. I feel like the community trusts me and respects me. And it's been quite a learning lesson in politics, but that's okay. I came from the healthcare sector, so it's all a learning experience.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions? Anyone out there, Mr. Rich, Mr. Marsan, any questions?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
No, sir.
Well, we want to thank you for volunteering. I know it's going to be tough to live in a neighborhood where you have to represent the same
okay.
people. So it's going to be a tough job, but anyone have any questions? Or
Jasmine can echo the same thing. Thank you for volunteering. We really appreciate it.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, Chair entertain a motion to appoint Kathy O'Brien as a tenant member of the Housing Authority.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Marsan,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. Luciano,
Miss.
Miss Luciano, sorry. And Mr. Kimball will vote yes also. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you.
volunteering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have an appointment for Robert Kimball as a select board designee for the Norton Opioid Prevention and Education Group. Mr. Town Manager, maybe you could fill us in on what that's all about?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The NOPE Committee, Norton Opioid Prevention and Education, meets regularly under the auspices of Chief Clark, and they do a lot for the community. They represent many groups across a broad spectrum, helping those that suffer from mental health illness, addiction, and they bring the community together. And Chief identified a vacancy. Mr. Kimball's name was put forward, and I understand. I hope he's willing to serve, if confirmed by the board. And I don't know if you know, Mr. Kimball has served on a few boards in his day.
Just a handful.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marsan,
I make a motion that we appoint Bob Kimball to the COPE Commission.
of course you do.
No.
You have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rich. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Marsan,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Luciano,
Yes.
and I too, I guess, vote yes. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, hope I say your last name right there, Mr. Justin Chica. As a Serpent alternate member, Mr. Town Manager, Mr. Gould.
Thank you. Mr. DPW Director Justin Chicka has been put forward as a Serpent member. He has extensive experience with Serpent, so this is actually an alternate member. Miss Luciano is the current Serpent representative, so he would assist her. This would be through June, and this would help the town better align the objectives consistent with the operational needs of the town.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, this is a very important appointment, as it is with Mr. Luciano's appointment. We need to get every penny of money we can get, and having the right people in these committees and boards is very, very important. So I think it's a great choice, and I think it's the right way to do it. Anyone have any questions, comments?
Just one. I welcome your participation, Justin, and I'll just let you know, Town Manager, I did receive from Serpent today the request for the 26-27 Serpent assignees. Maybe we can put that on for the next agenda. We can put Justin on as the Serpent primary for that.
Outstanding.
Mr. Chair, just for the public's information, might be good to announce that Justin Chica is the DPW director for the town of Norton, just for people that are watching that may not be aware of that.
Yep, thank you for that.
That's right, our new and first DPW director. And he survived the blizzard.
And guess what? It's snowing out again. Anyone else have any questions, comments?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marsan?
I make a motion that we appoint Justin Chica as the alternate to the Serpent Commission.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Rich?
You're on mute.
I saw your lips move, okay. Mr. Marsan?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Luciano?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the minutes from February 26, 2026. Anyone have a chance to look them over for any questions, deletions, anything of any sort? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr.
Second.
Mann, second by who? Mr. Marson?
Yes.
Okay. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now we have to do a roll call. Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Marson?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Luciano?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Okay, licenses and permits. We have nothing. Under announcements, we have a couple of announcements.
You can give the food away to anybody. Okay.
We want the food.
I'll take it.
Just bring it on by, we're all hungry, we'll be glad to have some, Mr.
You have
Marson.
no idea how much food we have here.
Okay. First is the census reminder. The town clerk is collecting the 2026 census forms. We're asking you to please return your census form via mail, the box in front of the town hall or the clerk's office. If you are a resident of Norton and you did not receive a census form, please call, email, or stop by the clerk's office, and we will give you a blank to fill it out. And another reminder is the Norton elections. Town elections are on April 11th, 2026. They're a little bit early this year. I believe they're about 2 weeks earlier than normal. Mail-in ballots, request forms, and absentee voting request forms are available on the town clerk's page on the town website. Also in the town clerk's office, and mail-in ballot request forms are also available at the senior center. Anyone else have anything else on announcements? I have one more here.
I think that's for the. Oh, maybe not.
Is that on there?
There's two, they could
Okay,
either announcements or select board mail, whichever you prefer.
I've got this one.
Oh, two more.
Okay, do that one.
So, if you need a mammogram, you are due for breast cancer screening. Please join us on the Dana-Farber's mammography van. The American College of Radiology recommends a mammogram every year if you are age 40 or older. It's to be held at the Norton Town Hall, 72 East Main Street, Norton, Mass. 02766. Be on Thursday, April 9th, from 7 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. The mammography van offers digital screening, 3D mammography. The van comes to you, and a friendly professional staff provides easy access to vital screening. The entire process averages about 20 minutes. Pre-registration is required to schedule a mammogram and learn more. Please call 617-632-1974 or register online or email mail at mammo, M-A-M-M-O, van, V-A-N, at dfci.harvard.edu. This van is hosted in conjunction with the Norton Board of Health. Dana-Farber mammography van possesses a valid license and a certificate of inspection issued by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. Do I have another one?
We could do Chief Clark's letter now or select board mail, whichever you prefer.
This is from Mark Gold, Town Manager, regarding, from Chief Clark, regarding notice of assessment of its state accreditation. This is dated March 2nd. In order for our department to be recognized as an accredited agency, I have requested an on-site assessment by the Massachusetts Police Accreditation Commission. As you know, verification by an assessment team that a department meets the commission's standards is part of a voluntary process to gain state accreditation, a highly prized recognition of law enforcement professional excellence. To that end, I am pleased to announce that a team of assessors, identified below, is scheduled to arrive on March 24th to begin a 2 to 3 day assessment. As you can see, the team is comprised of 4 local law enforcement officials, all of whom have been especially trained by the Commission to conduct the assessment, as well as the MPAC facilitator, Chief George McNeil, who's retired. The assessors are Lieutenant Sarah Lyden of the Norwood Police Department, Lieutenant Joseph Zangetti of the Lowell Police Department, Lieutenant William Griffin of the Northborough Police Department, and Sergeant Eric DeVault of the Swansea Police Department. During this on-site assessment, we must be able to demonstrate to the assessors that we are in compliance with the Commission's mandatory standards, as well as the required percentage of the operational standards of our size agency. We must show compliance with new standards and policies required with new police reform law. As part of the assessment process, please be advised that you are invited to offer comments to the Commission about the department as they pertain to accreditation standards. You may speak with the assessors directly during your visit, or you may send written comments to the Commissioners at the following address, which is Massachusetts Police Accreditation Commission, 110 Havel Street, Suite 397, Amesbury, Massachusetts, 01913. If you'd like to review the standards to assess accreditation, or have any questions about the upcoming assessment, please contact me or reach out to Lieutenant Kevin K. Schlecker Jr., our accreditation manager. You can also visit the Commission's website as www.masspoliceaccred.net. The assessment will conclude on March 25th or 26th with a briefing from the assessors. And as we look forward to this successful review, I would like to take the opportunity to thank everyone who has participated in this important endeavor and helped us reach the milestone in the process. Mr. Town Manager, have anything else on that?
That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Quick question through you, Chair.
Yeah, good.
Is this the first time we're trying to get the accreditation? Or we had it before?
I believe this is re-accreditation through post.
Okay.
And I believe it's Lieutenant Kevin Schleicher is spearheading it and he's been doing a wonderful job. A lot of work in preparation for this. So this will culminate with a site visit the 3rd week of March, and hopefully we'll hear the good news shortly thereafter.
Great. Thank you.
A couple more announcements. We want to remind everyone that the Town of Norton is hosting an upcoming Sip and Stroll. It's the kickoff of summer event. It's going to be held at the Town Hall parking lot on Saturday, May 16, 2026, from 3 to 6 p.m. Also, the Norton VFW is looking to have people get involved in the United States 250th anniversary Memorial Day celebration, kicking off the 250th anniversary of the United States, be part of Norton's community parade. They are seeking participants for floats or anyone who might be interested to please let us know if you're interested. And you can contact the VFW at 508-265-0442. I think that's all I have for now. Anyone else?
That's it.
All right. Okay, next on the agenda, we have new business health insurance proposal. Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are excited to be looking into health insurance. Health insurance continues to be a major budget driver as we look ahead to fiscal 27's budget. As such, the town manager's office has taken special interest in this everyone's pitched together as a team. I'd like to thank Christy Anagrin, Jen Soroka, who's done extensive research and analysis into this. And this will help both the town and the employees. It's an out-of-the-box thinking, which is exactly what we need with such a large expense. So I won't get to the details. I'll let our new assistant town manager get to those, but I'm very excited about this proposal. We're going to continue discussing it. We're not asking the select board for a vote at this time, but just bringing to light what we've been doing. So very excited to present Assistant Town Manager Shannon McMahon.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. I'd like to thank the board for having me here today. So I'm here today to present to you an alternate solution to the anticipated 12% increase to Blue Cross's premiums. As we all know, this is going to be a problem across our state and everywhere. We have found information that we're looking at a 12%. I know this isn't the most pleasant of conversations to have. Not everyone spends their Thursday nights sitting back and talking insurance premiums and deductibles, and so I'll make this as clear and logical and short as humanly possible. The premiums as are, the way they are right now, if we change nothing, we have a slide for you as well. If we do nothing and we accept the 12% and we change absolutely nothing, we are looking at an increase to the town of $907,386.84 in a very tight budget. With time, that will grow to about 1.3 million. What can we do about that? Well, currently, Blue Cross offers 3 possible options in terms of plans. We have your HMO, which has, here in town, we have 401 of our employees on the HMO plan. We have the high deductible plan with an HSA, health savings account, that has 18 people on it. We have the PPO that has 24 people on it. What we're looking to do is remove the HMO plan. That would leave only the 2 options of the high deductible plan and the PPO. If we did this, in year 1, we would save the town $347,362.48. By year 2 of doing this, we would save the town $797,112. Now, what about the employees? We don't want to shift the burden entirely to the employees. That doesn't seem fair in the least. We have done extensive research. Jen and Christy have been monumental in helping with this. Other towns are also looking for alternate solutions to help bear the burden. Other towns have opted to increase the employees' contribution from 25% to 50%. That's an enormous hit to the employees. We are trying not to do that. With the ideas that we're coming up with, by utilizing the HMO with the by getting rid of the HMO and using the high deductible plan with the HSA, we have found a way to save the town money, all of that money, that $300,000 and that $700,000 the second year, while also helping the employee save money. I'd like to take you through a few examples of what this would look like. So the first slide we're seeing right here, this is a low medical expense individual plan. Essentially, this is our employee who doesn't go to the doctors very often, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times per year. They're on an HMO plan. They pay the $3,212.16 premium. They have their $250 deductible. They roughly have 5 visits to doctors, so they have the $125 copays. They also utilize their FSA contribution, which is their flex spending. They contribute $3,400, which is the max that can be contributed to an FSA. The town contributes nothing, so that individual's annual total is $6,987.36 if they stayed on the HMO plan. If we remove the HMO plan and that person entered the high deductible plan, their premium would be lower, significantly lower. It would be $2,496.48. The issue rises with the deductible. The individual deductible for this plan would be $2,000. However, once they hit that deductible, they have no copays. If they've opted to put in the $2,000 into their HSA account, the town in year one would contribute $1,750. That would be an annual total of $4,746.48 for that employee. This would be a $2,240.88 savings to the employee. Now keep in mind, that's also taking into account that the town is saving over $300,000 the first year and over $700,000 the second year. Now, a few things to note on this one. A, this individual did utilize the FSA contribution. If we can just go back to that one. This individual did put the $3,400 into their FSA. The FSA, even though you can contribute the $3,400, it's important to note that if you don't use that $3,400 within one calendar year, that employee could potentially lose that $3,400. With the high deductible plan, they're only contributing the $2,000, but we're going to match it to make it the $3,750. And that rolls over from year to year. It also stays with the employee regardless of their employment status. This is monumental in terms of savings. That money can be invested similar to a 401k, and it can also be used to bear some of the cost that retirees are facing with Medicare B. Let's look at another example. This is a low medical expense individual plan. In this particular scenario, the only difference is we're looking at the numbers in this particular situation where someone did not contribute that $3,400 to the FSA under the HMO plan. Now, under these numbers, you're looking at the annual total under the HMO is lower than it would have been with the high deductible plan, with the caveat being, if the person stayed on the HMO plan and contributed nothing to their FSA contribution, with our research, we have found that an individual, on average, spends roughly $2,000 on medical supplies, copays, Advil, Band-Aids, sunblock, things like that. Around $2,000 is the average for an individual. That individual on the HMO who did not contribute anything to the FSA had that $2,000 taken out of their pocket. So even though on this paper it looks like when they switched to a high deductible plan that they had a essential additional cost, in reality they actually had an $840 savings, because if you take into account that $2,000 that came out of their pocket. In the next slide, this is what happens when we have an individual with a high medical expense. So this is someone who, maybe has an injury, repetitive injury, or has to go to PT many times, see doctors more regularly than just your average person. In this particular situation, the premium stays the same. If this person contributed the $3,400 to the FSA under the HMO plan, they would have paid $7,392.36. If they switch to the high deductible plan, they're going to get that $3,750 in their HSA, which they get to keep year after year. And their annual total is $4,746.48. That is a $2,645.88 savings to that person. And this is the same kind of scenario, but in this particular scenario, the individual with the high medical costs does not contribute to the FSA. Now, on paper, it looks like this particular person would have an increase of $754.32. But again, if we take into consideration that person had to take the $2,000 roughly out of their pocket to pay for those expenses, such as Band-Aids and aspirin and Tylenol and Advil, then they would actually have a savings of $1,245.68. And this individual now on the high deductible plan gets the $3,750 to invest as they wish, and we have the town contribution adding to that. So this is the family plan, and this is kind of the low medical expense family of 4 employee. So their deductible is $750 under the HMO. They do the $3,400 for the FSA contribution, which is maxed out. They pay $13,147 for their annual HMO. If they switch to the high deductible plan, they get the HSA contribution. They put in the $4,000. The town contributes $3,250 for that first year, and this person pays now $11,651.44 for a savings of $1,495.56. And again, this individual now has the $7,250 to help with that high deductible cost, and that can roll over to help pay for the following year's deductible. This is what it looks like if this particular person had not contributed to their FSA. In this particular scenario, it appears, like we said before, if they had not contributed to their FSA, that they would be paying more on the high deductible plan. In fact, they would be paying $1,904.64 more. However, once again, if we take into account what a family spends, we did the math on essentially $5,000 for a family of 4 and what they would spend at, say, your average Walgreens, CVS, copays, things like that. Then this particular person, if we take that into account, this particular person would actually have saved $3,095.36. And this particular, this is the high medical expense. So this is a family, similar situation. Say one of your children has to go to a doctor regularly. We have the high medical expense category. So this particular person's premium would be $8,416.80, the $750 deductible with the HMO, for a total of $14,267. This particular family did do the FSA contribution. They did the $3,400, which they could lose if they don't use it. And they have an annual total of $14,267. When they move to the high deductible plan, they do the $4,000 on the HSA. The town contributes $3,250. Their annual total is $11,651. Their annual savings is $2,615.56. And this is what happens if this particular person did not contribute to their FSA under the HMO. Their total was $10,866.80. With the high deductible, again, on paper, it looks like there would be an additional cost to this employee of $784.64. But in actuality, when you add that $5,000 of payments made to CVS, Walgreens, all of those things, then it actually is a savings of $4,215.36. Finally, the other option we have is the opt-out program. The town currently offers employees who have been on our health insurance plan for 24 months the option to opt out of our insurance for a payment of $1,500 for an individual plan and $2,500 for a family plan. The FY27 projected cost for the town for each employee on our health insurance is $7,489 for an individual and $20,704 for a family. We propose in FY27 opt-out for anyone currently enrolled in the plan to be a payment of $2,500 for an individual and a $5,000 payout for the family plan. This is a town savings of $4,989.44 per individual plan and $14,704.32 per the family plan. If 5 individual plans and 10 family plans participate, if they decided to opt out during this time, the town would save $181,990, which would be in addition to that year one number of $347,362. And for the year 2, that would be 181 plus the 797,112. These are real options that don't hurt anyone. Like we've just shown you, each employee, we've tried to identify every single employee that we've got here, which is not an easy task to do, to be perfectly honest. But we've tried to narrow it down and show you every possible scenario of every possible employee that's here, so no one's feeling left behind or not included. Each one of these plans that we've shown you has shown that there is a value to be had to the employee with a massive value to the town. Like I said, other towns are opting to go 50-50 on these premiums, and we're trying to avoid that at all costs. Our employees are very hardworking. The 2 women who are here who have helped me with this, me and Mr. Town Manager with this project, have worked tirelessly on getting us these numbers. We would certainly never want to put our employees in any situation where they are feeling like they're getting the brunt of what is outside of their control. This is a way that they get to keep their doctors, and it's also a resource that they can use to invest in their own self. They can use this HSA portion to invest in their own future retirement. And with that, I will open up to questions.
Questions, anyone?
Thank you, Shannon. So you mentioned they can keep their doctors, the network stays the same?
Yes.
Great, thank you. And how did you estimate FY28, the reduction in the HSA bucket?
I'm going to have Jen Soroka come on up here as well to help out with this. Can you say your question again, Mr. O'Neill?
Yes, so the 7.9 million to 7.4 million reduction from this year to next year?
Yep.
How did you estimate that?
The current HSA match for the high deductible plan is up to $1,000 per individual, up to $2,000 for a family plan. So for year 1, we're proposing $1,750 and $3,250 to help with the initial high deductible cost.
I see.
And then the second year, we'd go back to the normal town match.
Okay, great, thank you. Thank you, appreciate it.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Mr. Marsan, Mr. Rich, any questions?
I don't right now. That's a lot to digest. I'd like to get a package of that to review.
Mr. Rich, there's packets here waiting for you, so we have those for you as well. I didn't want to bore the board with going through every single slide, but there's some useful information within this package, examples of things that people are spending money on using their FSA currently under an HMO or straight out of pocket, and all of those things, would be covered under HSA.
Mr. Chair, and even though the HSA town contribution is only for the first year, it's important, as you mentioned, that the HSA rolls over year after year.
That's
and they're
correct.
already starting out with $4,000 for a family, so they don't have that today.
Yes.
So if they keep that balance going,
That's the idea. It should, if they roll it over and they continuously keep having their, same with everything else, having it taken out of their paycheck, by year 2, it should be paid for. So it shouldn't be this enormous out-of-pocket expense.
one other question, and I mentioned this when we were talking about the retiree health insurance a couple months ago. In corporate America, they have, and my wife and I have gone through this many years, where if you choose to have your spouse on your plan and your spouse also works and has access to their own plan, then you pay a spousal surcharge. Has that come up at all in your discussion? And basically what it does is it makes you think long and hard. I don't need to keep 2 insurance plans. If my wife's is better, then she's going to pay a surcharge for me to switch over from my company's plan. So,
Well, we haven't dug as deep into the specifics of what you're talking about with the opt-out program. That's kind of what we're trying to do.
yes.
So we're increasing what we already do. We're increasing the gift, if you will, for the opt-out. So we're raising that number.
Great. I had no idea that our annual deductible was so low. What did we say it was for an individual? $250 or something?
$250.
Wow. That's unheard of.
Through you, Chair.
Good.
Just a quick question on the high medical expense. What sort of high medical expense did you model? Was it just someone that has like monthly appointments? Was it something more significant? Let's say someone that had cancer or traumatic, were they in the hospital for months or something like that?
The high medical.
Right, I used the
Microphone.
average statistics of whether it was monthly therapy, physical therapy, chiropractor, a mix of sick visits, urgent care. So I took the average statistics of an individual and of a family of 4, and that's how we came up with our copays are arranged between $20 and $35. So I took the average times the copays to come up with it. So it's not somebody who would have necessarily something like cancer. It's just somebody who has more of a monthly visit of some sort.
Yeah, that's kind of why I ask. I mean, I think those monthly visits are pretty common with a lot of families, I think. But things that are not expected, like a cancer diagnosis or traumatic injury where you're hospitalized for a long time, those are the things that I think about when I'm choosing my medical plan that I want to be thinking about. Even if it costs me more today, it will save me in the back end later on. So I guess how would those model out in the different insurance plans?
So on our high deductible plan, once you hit your deductible, you actually don't pay any copays, including something like a surgery or a hospital visit. The HMO plan actually has, I believe, an 80% co-share split. So even once you hit that $250 or $750 deductible on the HMO, if you end up in the hospital, you're going to get a bill. We have a lot of young employees. We actually have a lot of births lately. People on the HMO plan are getting a bill to have a child. On the high deductible plan, you are not getting a bill. So that's another added bonus of the high deductible plan, that if something like that occurs, it is going to cover you.
And there's no maximum on the HSA for what they'll, okay.
No. And that's one of the reasons we're kind of thinking about it, because like I said, as we get older, we start to worry about these things, and this is essentially protecting the employee more.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is, because once you hit that 2,000 or 4,000 for individual or family, that's it. Nothing else comes out.
So the Bristol County Retirement Program for our retirees, how does this affect them?
This is just modeled for the active employees. We would not change anything for the retirees at this time. For the retirees who are under 65 and on the current HMO plan, they cannot enroll in a health savings account as a retiree.
Okay.
So this would not be a good option for the retirees that are under 65 and on the HMO plan.
As a town, do we have the right to go back to Bristol County Retirement and say, our costs are too high, our contributions are too high? Can you guys, based on what we're trying to do with the local employees who are already working for us, is there something you guys can do to maybe drop the amount we have to pay into the system for our retirees? Maybe open their eyes to a couple of things that maybe we're going to do. Maybe you guys should look at it too, that kind of a scenario, to see if maybe it works out.
Yeah, I don't have the answer to that, but we
No, no.
could look into it.
Definitely a
Something
good
we can look
suggestion.
into, Yeah.
I would like, Mr. Chair, I would like to note too, the numbers that we gave you in terms of what, if we stayed the exact same, if we didn't do this option and we just implemented the 12% and the town continued to pay the 75% and the employee paid 25%, those numbers I gave you earlier, those did not include the retirees.
Right.
So that number is significantly higher
Right.
in real life.
Right.
So, yeah, Mr. Chair, so it might be good, by the way, exceptional work. I mean, you've done a lot of analysis in detail and run different scenarios and modeled a different way. I don't have any questions, and usually I'm very critical of these type studies, and I have nothing. Nice job.
We tried very, very hard to encompass every possible employee.
Yeah, well, you did it.
that we could think of, and look at it with clear eyes and be judgmental. You know, the 4 of us sat in a room for many, 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 many hours and did kind of what we used to call in law school a hot bench. Tell me why, I don't like this. This is going to be too much money. And then we kind of kept working it and trying to make it very clear that this really can be a beneficial change for everyone involved.
Well, it shows. Great job. Great
Thank
job,
you.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would echo that. I would applaud you on that because in the past, what we've done is this is how much it cost last year, this is how much it's going to cost this year. And we didn't take the initiative really to go back and look at it and say, okay, that's the way it is, but are there other alternatives? And I applaud your group, all of you, for what you've done here because it's giving us another set of eyes on something that we've been dealing with for years and we've just been adding to it without making any effort to see if there's any other options out there. So,
And we're open to suggestion. We're open to discussion. Obviously, like Mr. Town Manager had indicated, this isn't a proposal as of right now. This is kind of a fact-finding mission. What is the best fit for Norton? And what we've come up with so far seems to be a very good fit. But certainly we're willing to sit down with anyone who has suggestion or additions or subtractions or additional questions.
Mr. Neal?
Yes, so just one suggestion. Well, I wanted to ask what the next step is, but the 18 that are on the HSA right now, perhaps they can be your advocates, your champions, because you are as well. Good. And then you can talk to the benefits.
I saved $11,000 my first year I went on it.
Oh, good.
My daughter had knee surgery, and so I average about $4,000 or $5,000 savings on the plan now. But the first year, it was a huge benefit for my family.
Very good. I want to ask the town manager, Mr. Chair. I know if you're changing the percentage, you have to negotiate that through the collective bargaining process. But changing this, I don't think you need to negotiate it, correct?
Out of courtesy, we're bringing this to the
Okay,
unions
that's
early
okay.
next week.
Very good. Thank you. And then I wanted to ask Ms. Chair what our next step would be to try to get this presented.
Well, first of all, I know Mr. Rich and Mr. Marson haven't had the opportunity to look at this. We just got this tonight, so obviously I'm sure they're going to have a lot of questions, but right now they're not privy to what we're looking at, other than what we're showing on the screen. So my suggestion would be to, once we're all back here together, to maybe talk a bit more about it, have the manager give us more updates as we progress, find out what the unions are saying, and how they're feeling about it, and basically take it from there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Through you, Chair, just a quick question. Since 90% of the employees currently have made the decision to choose the more expensive plan to them, right, out of pocket,
Yes.
for whatever reason, part of that is probably education, understanding the benefits of the different plans, right? So what is the communication plan going forward? Hopefully it's not just like an email communication, but there's more personal, face-to-face ability to ask questions, that kind of thing.
What we have discussed and what we will be presenting to you folks, hopefully soon, as well as the unions, would be Jen and I would be meeting with small groups of employees to educate them, kind of on a one-on-one or just small group, so we can take and tailor each individual and give them an idea of what we're looking at. Otherwise, we're not going to win over that 91%. But realistically, I think that most people pick the HMO because it's the least for the deductible.
Yeah.
So it's the short-term gain, not the long-term gain. What we're trying to do is explore the long-term gain, which far outweighs that short-term gain of that low deductible.
Okay.
One last thing, Mr.
Go ahead.
Chair, I'm sorry. My suggestion would be for those that don't have it in their weekly or monthly budget, to contribute to the HSA themselves. When you can kick it around with your team, maybe consider having the town contribute to it anyway, our portion of that HSA. You know what I'm saying? You probably, Jen,
Yep.
if you can't take $200 out of your paycheck every month to put in the HSA, but you still would like to get the town match the first year as a kicker,
Yep.
I think that might help a lot of people.
I believe that's what we kind of said, right? We're doing.
Mr. Rich, Mr. Marson, before I open up the public, you guys have anything you want to say?
I do not right now.
Okay. Mr. Silvers, you got something?
Excuse me.
Identify yourself, please. We know who you are, but
Zach Tillis, 3 Richmond Drive. So it is my understanding if you change a public employee's insurance, you would have to form what's known as a PEC, Public Employee Committee, under state law. Has that been looked at?
That's one option. Impact bargaining is another.
Okay, I don't know, I know that's been out there, so I don't know how that, mitigating that portion of it.
you're volunteering?
Thank you, Zach, for your insightful conversation on health insurance earlier. That helped form this.
Bob, did you have something?
I think it was a cattle prod. I think you've already covered the question, but my name is Bob Briscoe, 3 Brenda Road. I just wanted to know if it was going to be offered to all the bargaining units that work for the town, fire, police.
Of course, yes. We're going to work with them and help them understand the benefits, how this can help their families.
That's good, yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, thank you very much for your information. Obviously, it's a lot to digest right now, but we definitely will take a look at it and look forward to any additional information you guys can give us, for the future. So,
And
so we have a clear understanding about how this thing works.
And as I stated, any additional questions, please feel free to email me or Jen with anything that comes up later that you didn't think of today.
Okay. Mr. Gould, anything else?
Right. Just direct your questions to our office, and we'll be able to take it back and bring a more vetted proposal. But I'm just really happy for the whole team, and this is going to be great for everyone. We're going to keep moving forward with it for the employees, the public.
I did have one more quick question. Sorry. Are there any differences between the plans on what they do cover as far as insurance coverage?
No.
Okay.
That's the major difference.
Okay.
I don't think we would have gone down this road had there been a caveat or a clause that required changing doctors or
Not
certain
covering
care, not coverage.
chiropractors.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think we would have explored this. As I said in the beginning, we're trying to help our employees more than what other towns are looking at, where they're just saying, "Hey, there's this increase. You got to split it with us." We're
Yeah.
trying to do something a little bit different and see where it lands us.
Great. Thank you. Lots of information, but thank you.
Thank you very much to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Appreciate it. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have old business is the end of the state of emergency declaration. Mr. Town Manager?
Mr. Chair, thank you. So this is in relation to the state of emergency the select board declared on the eve of the blizzard, thankfully, to cover our bases. So if it ends up being a federally declared state of emergency, then we are in line to receive funds. There's a chart of expenses that were submitted last week. Our expenses total $158,000, and we put in for everything and the kitchen sink. We have our DPW director, Justin Chicka, with us for any questions, comments. Can't say enough about his crews and all the public safety that came out and supported during this, and the efforts to account for the costs to the town and try to recover those funds. There's no guarantee, but these are the figures we submitted to MEMA, who's submitting them to FEMA, and if it's enough, then we will submit the actual totals and submit for reimbursement at that time.
Mr. Gould, the one question I have, I spoke to State Representative Howard last week about this, and he said that we should keep track of all of our costs, including maybe to the point of including any patching we might do on the road, potholes, that kind of stuff. Should we hold off a bit longer on this, or do you feel that we're pretty much at where we should be?
I'll defer to Mr. Chicka on that.
Yeah, thank you. Ending the declared state of emergency from the town would not impact that at all. The numbers that you have before you are the preliminary numbers that we're asked to provide MEMA, and like the town manager said, is sent to FEMA. That's to decide whether we're going to get any reimbursement. We have a meeting Monday, as a matter of fact, to dive further into it with MEMA. And we're allowed to adjust our numbers accordingly. As more issues arise or come up, we adjust whatever we can. That's allowable by law. So stuff like pothole filling and curbings that might have been damaged, and anything that we're allowed to put down will be put down.
In addition to what you already have?
Correct.
Okay. So you have no reservations about sending this state of emergency?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyone else?
I do, Mr. Chair. So, there are a lot of categories here, and I'm just curious, like debris removal. I know there were a lot of trees down, bridges, roads, public utilities. I don't know if you had any do anything special here with the generator to prep it or any of that kind of stuff that's all related to the storm. You don't have to answer it, but I'm just make sure that you categorize every possible thing and make sure that it's in the right category too. I don't know how it works with FEMA, but if they come back and say, well, we're not going to reimburse you for snow removal, but we will reimburse you for pothole repairs, for example, or tree removal, and it's a matter of making sure it's in the right category. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
I'll go a step further to let you know that it's based on man hours and it's based on equipment. So whether that half hour was spent cleaning up a tree or actually plowing, it's the same rate. So there's certainly a logistic that goes along with the categories, and we are familiar with it, and we'll make sure that we get every last penny that we can.
Mr. Neal does make a good point though, because a lot of trees came down and they're sitting on the side of the road. We've cut back on a lot of them just to get them out of the way during the storm. Now we have to send people back to clean them up. So it would be good if we could include that kind of cost in.
Every hour is being added as we speak.
Okay.
Yeah, just to kind of add on to what I had said, Mr. Chair, I don't know how this works, but I'm just guessing, okay, well, they might come back and say, well, snow removal is normal, but with a state of emergency and, a blizzard, debris cleanup is not, unless it's a, state of emergency or a blizzard. So maybe if...
Snow removal is covered.
It is covered?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
great.
Yep.
Yep. What differentiates the regular snowstorm from a blizzard in a state of
The
emergency?
declared emergency by the state and by the federal government.
Gotcha. But I guess from the categories, as far as estimates of costs, you know better than I, but just make sure the hourly rate and the cost are broken down appropriately, so that if they start cherry picking your sheet, then we have it broken down. Okay, we had 20 grand in tree removal, and we had it categorized as snow removal, but actually they spent that time removing trees that had fallen down. Maybe that's more likely to get some reimbursement. You know what I'm saying, Justin?
Will
Again,
do.
I don't know anything about this.
Will
I'm just
do.
throwing out ideas. Yeah.
Understood.
Anyone else? Mr. Rich, you have anything?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? So your recommendation, Mr. Gould, is for us to take a motion to end the state of emergency.
That's correct. Since we had a state of emergency during the true emergency response, I believe that all subsequent expenses would be looped in. And as the state ended their emergency, I would urge the board to vote to end the emergency declaration.
Any further discussion? Chair, entertain a motion to, go ahead. Mr. Rich?
Yep, just wanted to make a motion to end the state of emergency declaration.
Okay, we have a motion second by Ms. Luciano. So that's all we really need. Okay, we have a motion second. Further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Luciano?
Yes.
And I will also be yes. Thank you. That's unanimous.
And thank you, Mr. Chica. Once again, we've been saying it over and over again. Fantastic job by the whole crew. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Town managers report.
Thank you, sir. First up, budget development. As this is top of the mind. Continuing evaluating, analyzing departments backwards, forwards, looking for cost savings everywhere. We're looking to put forward a fiscally responsible budget, balancing service delivery and long-term sustainability. So the anticipated budget release date is April 6th, and in the meantime, we're meeting with Finance Committee regularly, going through all the budgets. We have police and fire lined up for Monday, so feel free to tune in. And I can actually forward the board, if the board would like, a PowerPoint that I presented a couple weeks ago at Finance Committee, just showing the major budget drivers and the fiscal environment that we're looking at this year. Next up, King Philip Road. We've been fielding several inquiries regarding the condition of this largely private way. We do own about 700 feet of it, but that leaves 33 or 3,700 feet. Now, King Philip Road is one of approximately 15 private ways in the town, and there are about 93 privately owned parcels, roughly 67 single-family homes. The road's in poor condition, but it's not town-owned. So unfortunately, under Norton law, under state law, we can't use public funds on private property. That's just the rule. Now, there are a couple exceptions to the rule. As any lawyer knows, every rule comes with exceptions. Under Norton's bylaw, the exception allows for essentially pothole repair. It's not road reconstruction. Our bylaw says if 2/3 of the abutters petition the town meeting can vote money to temporarily fix a private road. That's not what we're looking at largely here. I mean, we're more looking at, due to the deterioration of the road, it would be street acceptance, a full reconstruction. Now that would be a big project with engineering, with construction, with stormwater drainage, with conservation requirements. The process for that is General Law Chapter 82, which is also, it requires the abutters to come to the town. We need to be provided with a plan, a engineered layout plan stamped by an engineer describing the takings, the easements. It's not a simple thing. After that, the select board would hold a public hearing and forward the issue to town meeting, where it would be voted on to accept the road and provide the funds, the appropriation to fix the road or impose a betterment on the, 67 single-family homes on this particular road. And note that there's 14 other private roads that, once you accept one, so given fiscal constraints, legal limitations, we're doing all we can as permitted by law. And really, if there's anything more to be done, it needs to come from the residents in the form of a petition with a plan. And then it would be up to the select board to forward that to town meeting if you're so inclined.
Yeah, thanks, Town Manager. This matches what we had a lot of discussion last year with this same area, and this matches what was discussed at that point as well. So thank you for your detail in here.
And I think every day, I think every one of us is having a conversation with someone about this road. And we're probably as frustrated as most, trying to figure out a way to make this happen within the confines of the law. And we cannot break the laws. I mean, we're just the way it is. There's some other issues that may come into play by accepting this road, and Mr. Chica probably could talk about it more than I could, but we have to require a certain width in the road. And anyone that knows King Philip knows that in some areas it gets pretty tight. Looking at some of the overlay that Mr. Chica has recently given to a couple of us, just to kind of get an idea of what we're talking about, it not only does it involve taking property, it may involve taking homes. There are probably 2 or 3 homes that would be impacted, where the town would actually have to take down someone's property. So it's a bigger problem than what it is on the surface. And we understand the frustration. I drove down that road the other day myself, and I was concerned because it is a mess. But I don't want anyone out there to think that we're just blowing this under the, sweeping it under the rug, so to speak. We're not. Every day we're talking about this and trying to come up with another alternative within the legal rights of the town. And unfortunately, we can't, other than the recommendations that Mr. Glue just recommended as far as the proposal of the neighbors getting together and coming together with some kind of request. The major portion of this is the engineering of it. And the engineering is going to be very costly. And not only costly, but wetlands impact. And the cost of that alone is going to be magnified. As a private street, the owners can do whatever they want to do. We can't. And that's where the frustration lies, is we love to help these people out, but where it is it not an accepted street? And we don't know what the reasons are for the reason why it was never accepted, but it hasn't been. So, past practice for whatever reason it might be. But we can't do anything other than make minor repairs. And we're doing the best we can down there. I don't know what the answer is, but I don't want anyone out there to think, and I know we've been getting some heat from many different directions, but I don't want anyone to think that we're not talking about this. We're still going to continue to talk about this. We just don't have any solution right now other than spending a large $1 million plus or more, maybe $2 million by the time we get through, to try to make improvements, not only in King Philip, but Charlotte Road too has some issues also that we'd like to address, and that also is a private road. So it's quite a quagmire, and we're going to have to figure out how to deal with it. So, anyone else? Dale?
Thank you for all that, and thank you, Town Manager, for that. I also believe there are no storm drains on either one of those roads, so all the water runs off onto the property and into the lake. Part of the backstory might be good to understand for you as well. I know I've seen comments, very logical comments, that when the town put sewer down there and a new water line, I might be incorrect, but we took a temporary easement in order to do that. And then when those lines were completed, then we repaved the road. That was just a temporary repavement to accommodate that project. People think of that as a precedent, that, okay, if the town paved it once, why can't they pave it again, right? But we're not laying a new sewer line down, so there's no reason to. So that's part of the backstory. It's a very logical question. If I'm a resident, you paved it once, why can't you do it again, right? It was a private road back then as well. So, something to keep in mind when you're talking to neighbors. Does that make sense?
Right, and if you do continuously maintain it and keep it up to date, then you're obligated to. If it's a one-time project decades ago for a specific reason, it legally just would not qualify. We're just not allowed to pave the road without formally accepting the road.
And Mr. Chair, I know, and this has been going on for a year. When I was sitting there, I listened to the arguments, and then later on as well. I think, didn't we allocate some money for enhanced pothole repair, like $10,000 in the budget? Oh, yeah, good.
Last year, yeah.
Mr. Chica?
Okay, first I have to say it's Chica.
Chica.
Like a chicken. Yes.
Chica?
Yes, I heard that.
We'll get it right eventually.
I heard that quite a bit growing up. There is money that was allocated just about a year ago, I'm told, that's in a fund that we've spent some of. We continue to spend. We were down there today. We'll probably be down there again tomorrow, filling potholes, doing what we can, like the town administrator said, legally, what we can to help the residents down there to kind of smooth it out some. So there is money allocated. It is sitting there. We are using it.
Mr. Chair, I've never filled a pothole, but I've spackled walls. And I know in order to do it right, you need to get all of the loose perimeter off, and then you pack it in tightly. Some of the complaints, if I remember correctly, was the material that was being used was not sustainable. It would chip a week later, or a plow driver would go down and the next year would be in the same condition. I don't know if there are any better quality material that you can use for this project alone, but I just wanted to throw that out.
Yep, I can answer to that. Pothole fill is not a permanent asphalt job. It's a temporary patch. The thing about pothole filling is it's inexpensive. So, yes, if we have to fill the same holes every year, you can do it a lot cheaper than you could if you re-asphalted the road. So, is there a better product? No. Is there a better solution? Pave the road. And I don't mean to say that sarcastically, but yeah, filling potholes are a temporary solution to a problem.
When you say pave the road, though, you're talking about
Through this process.
The process that we
the
spoke
process
about.
of not only taking up the road that's there,
Correct. Milling
It's in the wet-
out what's there.
even wetlands, you have to deal with that.
Yep.
And while you're doing all that, you can't raise the height of the road because now you're putting water onto properties that didn't have water before. So it's a very, very major project. I mean,
It is. And the way to think about that road right now, in any paper road, is it's the property of the owners. So the portions of that road that abuts their property is their property. So the water from the road's not going onto their property. The water is on their property. The town does not own that property. For now.
Anyone else? Thank you. Mr. Rich, you all set?
I am. You guys are covering everything, so.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Mr. Town Manager?
Thank you, and I will note that we're putting a public statement out on the website, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that.
May I ask through you, Mr. Chair, that that you also, out of courtesy, send a letter to all of the residents on these roads? Whatever your public statement is, just send them a letter directly. I think that will go a long way, if that's okay, if you have the funds for that.
We can certainly look into that. I am meeting with a representative of the neighborhood early next week, so I can ask him if he can help disseminate information.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Through you, Chair. The only thing I would add, Mark, is in addition to the two options that you have here around temporary repairs and the street acceptance through MGL 82, is that the third option is really for the residents on the private road to themselves do that study and pave the road, right?
It's their property.
That's their property, yeah.
It does not require engineering work and all the stuff that we have to do. All they have to do is pave it. They have to grind it and pave it. And on top of that, we have to pay prevailing wages. You know, that could be 2 to 3 times the cost of what it would cost them to do it. So that's another factor to take into consideration. But I'm sure you can expand on that with the representative next week and give them some options on maybe what they can do.
Certainly will.
Mr. Gould?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty common practice because builders come in and build communities. There are established, committees that are responsible for kind of managing those private ways, and then they disband and no one, keeps up with it. Yeah. And this is pretty common across, I think, a lot of different towns and communities.
And that's why when we approve developments, we need to require them to build the roads up to the standards so they can be accepted.
Yeah.
I did also see a proposal or a quote from about a year ago. And we can do that exercise again where we provide the residents with the quote and let them decide whether they want to split the costs and do the work.
Yeah.
Did you follow what I'm saying? Like I saw the actual quote that we got about a year ago to go in, mill it, top coat it, and give them some relief for a few years to come.
I'm not sure which quote you looked at. I'm not sure if it was ours or at the time they actually came to us with a quote they received on their own.
I seen one that we went and got to see what it would cost.
Yeah, they came to us at the time with their own quote for what the work would cost.
So I do suggest that possibility.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm roping you into this meeting next week.
Mr. Gould?
Moving on, capital planning requests cycle is underway. Next week, we're meeting with the major departments, school, police, fire, DPW, reviewing capital requests internally. The week after, we will convene the capital improvement committee in advance of town meeting to recommend requests to you folks.
Mark, could I ask, when you're sending like the budget stuff to FinCom to review, even if we're not discussing it, maybe at the next select board meeting, if we could share that with us as well, just so we're kind of seeing the iterations as you're going through it, that'd be great.
Sure, I will definitely forward you what I've provided so far and going forward.
Great, thanks.
Next up, very happy to report that the public library has achieved full accreditation certification. They're fully eligible for grants. This was a team effort. Amanda Vienna spearheaded this. Assistant Town Manager McMahon has been substantially involved in helping the library integrate with seniors, with veterans. It's truly a team effort, and we're very proud of the library, all they've done over there and continue to do. Public safety accreditation.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, Mr. Town Manager, this was in the paper as well as on Chronicle. I don't know if you saw that, the whole article about this. But I was on the school committee when we went through some real tough budget discussions back when this happened. The library had they took a bigger hit than most budgets. Right. And that's what put them out of the accreditation line. I was amazed to learn that all this time had gone by and they hadn't had the money to climb back in to the 50-hour work, 50 hours per week schedule and that kind of thing. And I think it was Mr. Tillis there who spoke up at the FinCom meeting, the joint meeting a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last year, and basically, as well as others, as well as the chair of the Library Board of Trustees, letting everybody know that the budget for the library only covers salaries. They do a lot of their own funding for repairs, maintenance. So my concern going forward is now that they've acquired this accreditation after too long of a wait, that in the loss of grant money over the years, shame on us. We were penny wise and pound foolish. It was $17,000 to get them back to the 50-hour week, and they were losing $60,000 in annual grant money. So when you do the budget, I'm just asking, try to keep the accreditation. If
you bet.
If we get a 1% across the board increase, and they need a 3% to keep their accreditation, it's a very small amount of money in their budget, like $500,000. Try to make sure they get it. If you can.
We'll do our best.
I believe in 2008, as most of us remember, of course I was on the board then, we had a major recession. And that was part of the problem, what happened here, but it was short-sighted on our part to take away, to have a major hit with the library. And I think part of the reason, the back reason why people felt we could cut into their budget and not have any impact was because they have certain gift accounts and that kind of stuff that they felt that they could stand up and they could take the money from somewhere else. Well, guess what? They couldn't. You know, when you have payroll, payroll has to come from us. So shame on us for what we did in 2008, but more shame on us if we do it again. This just can't happen. Wherever the money has to come from, it has to come to make sure that this program continues to thrive the way it does today. I mean, the people over there today are making this library very inclusive. There's constantly people over there. Things are going on constantly. And I can't say enough good things about them. But at the same time, you know, to throw them under the bus in 2008 for $17,000 and take until 2026 to get us back again is ridiculous. So in the future, as long as all of us can remember this, we have to make sure that doesn't happen again. Mr. Town Manager.
That's right, and I'd like to just add on to that that there's $20,000 that has been recently received through working with volunteers for the Book Nook, and that's an incredible testament to the continued operations and leadership there in the library. So we'll definitely continue to support that effort going forward. And on the tails of that, public safety, also wants to be accredited. So the police department is accredited, looking to continue that as the letter we read today. In addition, we're working with the fire department to become accredited. So we're working toward a long-term plan to become a leading town, if not the leading town in the Commonwealth in emergency preparedness. We have a college, we have a lot of people here, students, seniors that we'd like to keep safe. So we're working hand in hand with emergency management, with fire department, with police to preliminarily get the fire department certified and then work towards EMAP certification, emergency management certification. So these are efforts on the horizon, a testament to the great people here that every day put their lives on the line. And we have plans prepared, and we're polishing those plans, making them even better.
Thank you.
So that's the report, subject to any questions.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the May 18th town meeting warrant articles. Mr. Town Manager?
Yes, sir. I apologize. Just one moment, please. So first, and I apologize for not getting this to you in advance. It's been a lot going on, but let me hand out, and apologies to the remote members that have not seen this yet. This is simply the annual award letter from the governor for our Chapter 90 funds. So this is number 2 on the town meeting articles. So we'd be asking the select board to forward to town meeting, essentially accepting our annual Chapter 90 allotment from the state, which this year we're pleased to announce is a total of $860,247 and change. We don't do pennies anymore, so I don't know why they put it in pennies, but that's a substantial amount of money that can go towards fixing our infrastructure, our roads. So that's the state formula that gives to all the cities and towns, and that's our allotment this year. Subject to any questions, I'd ask if the board's comfortable forwarding that amount to town meeting for $860,247.73, which I understand is an increase from last year.
That's what I was going to ask, is
Yeah,
how to compare to last year.
Thanks for 100,000 more than last year.
Okay, great.
Just a tad less than 100,000. Anyone have any questions? Seeing none, Chair will entertain a motion to support Article 2 on the annual town meeting.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second, sorry.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Roll call, Mr. Rich.
Yes.
I don't see Mr. Marsan on there. I don't think he's on. Mr. Marsan, you on there? Okay.
He's eating food.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Luciano?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you. Moving on, a lot of these articles are going to be submitted with the budget and the capital plan. Next is revolving funds, number 14. So you should have received that in your packet. Again, I apologize to any remote members who may not have received it. Essentially, this is a carbon copy of the last 3 years revolving funds. What revolving funds are? Do we have these? Do they have these?
Yeah, I can do that.
Are funds that are held by certain departments for a specific purpose. So, for example, the 2 revolving funds that we use the most are Recycling and Council on Aging. So they charge fees for the service for recycling, for Council on Aging programs, and they use those fees to provide the service. So it's essentially a wash. It's a wash. It's not any budget funds, not any taxpayer dollars. It's people using this service, paying for this service, and we're required to have a town meeting authorization for a maximum that can be spent out of each account in each fiscal year. So
So there's no increases on this from last year. It's the same.
same exact numbers from last year.
The only one that looks like it's missing to me is Parks and Rec.
For the pool expenses, you mean? You might be onto something, and it might have been perpetually missed.
Gotcha.
So if the board wants, we can certainly take that back and verify. I do remember a question came up about that during last year's CIP meeting.
Yeah, I know that they take money in for rentals and they use it for like lifeguards and whatnot that support it, but I'm assuming
Right.
that that would be one of the revolving funds that we have.
Perhaps we'll hold off and we can do that one to the next meeting.
Probably wise.
Okay.
Moving on, there's a number of infrastructure projects.
Probably deal with 21. We just had the public hearing tonight.
You already voted on it. That was part of what we
Yeah, I
voted
think we
on.
voted.
Yeah.
So that one's done. And
And the rest of them, I believe, are waiting for additional information.
okay.
I was gonna say, are any of these coming off that you know of? Or I guess I
Not
should say not being moved.
not that I know of.
Okay.
I believe they're all active as of now.
Okay, great.
I mean, I suppose number one will be contingent on the April 11th election.
Did we not look at prior years' unpaid bills already? No.
I believe there's just one, but I'm not certain. But
Okay.
we'll have that for you next meeting, definitely.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
So that's it for town meeting warrant articles. I do just want to announce that Audrey Moschella has resigned from the school committee. So this will be a likely joint appointment of the select board and the school committee for the remaining 1 year through April 30th, 2027.
Yeah, it should be noted that the ballot is closed, so we obviously can't put her on the position on this year's ballot, so it has to be a joint appointment to serve until the next election, which will be a year from this April.
Are we posting any way that we're looking for people to step forward and express interest in the appointment?
Yes, we can certainly do that. We can put it on the select board's webpage, the main webpage, and wherever the school committee would like to post it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Mr. Gould?
That's it on that item. I believe we're on the warrants.
Warrants. Chair will entertain a motion to approve invoice warrant number AP 26-35 dated February 26, 2026.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Second. Mr. Rich? Okay. Roll call. Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Luciano?
Yes.
And I too will vote yes. We have a motion, I'll accept the motion for payroll warrant PR 26-18 for the week ending January 28th, 2026. The motion?
So moved.
Mr. O'Neill, second.
Second.
Ms. Luciano. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Ms. Luciano?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Entertain a motion to approve invoice warrant AP 26-36 dated March 5th, 2026.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rich. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Luciano?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Next, we have Selectmen's Report Mail. I think we already read the mail, right?
Yeah.
Anyone have anything else? No?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going into executive session. So the
Mr.
chair, yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, can we circle back to the town meeting warrant
Sure, go ahead.
articles just for a quick discussion? I know we're not going to meet again for another couple of weeks. I know the finance committee is very busy. I watched part of the meeting when town manager presented to them the other night. And I think that they would like us to weigh in on certain articles that are not finance related. So they decide whether they want to have a debate and discussion around them as well. And I think the budget has to be done by, what is it, Mr. Town Manager, April 6th or something?
Right, it's a certain number of days before town meeting, April 6th.
So I just wanted to throw it out there so that we keep in mind everything we need to do over the next month, less than a month, 3 weeks. And we only have one meeting scheduled between now and then. I mean, I guess the finance committee could get through the budget part of it by April 6th, and we can talk about the other warrant articles for the town meeting afterwards. I don't know if we need to vote on those with a certain same time frame in advance of the town, but I'm sure you need to print the town meeting warrant with everybody's recommendations or not at some point. So my first time through this, I don't know what the timing is. I don't know if we should be concerned with the timeline. And I wanted to throw out, should we as a board take a position on some of these other articles? For example, the removal of the mandatory 5 to 7 year sewer tie-in, things that we can discuss as a board, like tonight or at the next meeting, the stormwater and drainage easement, things that are not finance related, intersection of 140 and 123. The finance committee might be looking for our guidance on some of these that are not finance related, I guess is what I'm getting at. And when are we going to be able to provide that guidance?
I would imagine the 5 to 7 year tie-in would impact finance,
Probably, yep.
right? If we remove that requirement, that means people may not ever pay the betterment, which means it's more cost to the town.
Well, when we vote on that, will we have a number to vote on, or are we just voting on it out of principle without knowing the cost impact?
Well, I mean, Mr. Chair, through you, I think it's a good point. I was speaking with our Chair Rich, and he was in favor of moving as many as we can. My only hesitation was we didn't have numbers here, but if you're not concerned about the numbers, if that's Finance Committee's purview, then we could tick off a number of these.
It's up to the board. I'm just throwing it out there. And we can always schedule more meetings if we need to meet more frequently, like
Yeah.
next week or the week after the 24th. I just want to make sure we don't mess up your schedule, and maybe Zach can speak on behalf of the FinCom, what he might be looking for, but I just figured I'd throw it out there for a discussion.
My preference would be to have numbers
Okay.
For those things where numbers are part of the discussion, right? What would be the financial impact of certain things? I'd like to know that.
Yeah, as would I. Mr. Zillis?
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would say, it's our charter says that you guys set the direction for the town, and we always look to that to make particularly those non-financial decisions. So it's up to you. I know some years you haven't got to it, but that's the purview of the select board.
I agree. I think, in the past we've tried to take a position on these prior town meeting. I just don't know if we have the dollars necessary right now to act on them, some of these issues. When are we supposed to be meeting again? Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
It's scheduled for April 2nd because there's a poll hearing that evening. And we're also, I neglected to mention, we have a public hearing we're scheduling April 1st for the center of town reconstruction.
That's Article 24.
Yes, sir.
Right. That's on the first.
Okay. So we're not meeting on the 26th then, as originally.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now would be the 26th, so we're going to skip out to the second. We may not have time to address most of these if we're not going to be meeting until April 2nd.
Why are we not meeting the 20? I missed it. Why are we not meeting the 26th?
I don't know.
That's the time that lined up for Verizon and the abutters to receive the notice for the public hearings.
The public hearing is on April 2nd, though, right?
April 1st and 2nd.
Okay.
As far as our meeting on the 26th, the originally scheduled meeting,
Are we still?
why can't we meet then for other items?
I mean, the board can meet whenever it likes.
Yeah, I mean, we could meet on the 26th, we meet again on the 2nd, too.
Yeah, that's
If
fine.
we
That's
feel it's
fine.
important enough that we give the guidance to the Finance Committee, we could meet 2 weeks in a row. It's not what we used to. We used to meet every week. So, it's not something we can't do. I think it's important for us to give some kind of direction to the Finance Committee. And I agree with everyone else that I think it's important that we do it. And if we have some solid numbers by that time, if we don't have them on the, 20, my calendar, lost it. If we don't have the information on the 26th, hopefully by the 2nd we would. And we can address some of these. I know we have a public hearing on April 2nd. I know we have to meet that week. But we could possibly meet the 26th and try to knock a few of these off if you think you're going to be ready for it. I mean, I think there's no reason not for us to meet on the 26th if we're not ready to address some of the articles. So I guess we pretty much have to leave it up to you, Mr. Town Manager, as to whether it'd be worthwhile for us to meet on the 26th.
I mean, I think there's two big buckets of articles that I'm seeing here, right? One is definitely budget, right? The annual budget, the capital plan, that kind of stuff, which I think waiting for FinCom to kind of do their thing first makes sense. Then the other big bucket that I'm seeing is a lot of DPW related stuff, right? But we'd want like Justin to be here and prepared to be able to present and field questions on those items. So whenever I guess, do we have a sense for when he'll be ready to present on all those DPW articles?
So he has requested more time, and justifiably so. These are big projects, and the engineers respond in increments of 30 days. So we're following up diligently with them
Okay.
to speed things up.
So why don't we do this? If you feel it's we can address some of these issues on the 26th, we should probably meet. If we're not in a position to discuss them until April 2nd, then we'll have to do it at that point. I'm going to accept. I'm going to believe that the FinCom is already going to be in active discussion on these, but they're not going to get any more information than we are between now and then. So we all have to kind of get the information before we can take our positions. So I know we're going through a transition right now. We've got a lot of things up in the air. We've got a lot of new people coming in trying to make this all come together. So. I mean, the Finance Committee has to continue, obviously, on their track, and it may come to a point where they're making decisions before we are. We
Mr.
all have to have
Chairman.
the information. Mr. Sillis?
May I suggest, especially on the zoning articles and the DPW articles, you may want to consider having a joint meeting. We meet on Monday nights and have the DPW director or whoever present those all at once. And it can be a discussion then and knock them all out at the same time. I mean, that's up to you, and also I'm not sure when the public hearing is, Mark, on the budget we have an annual public hearing. I don't know if the date has been set on that yet, so.
I think we did the zoning ones tonight, unless are there other ones?
No, we did those tonight. I
Yeah.
think he's referring if Finance Committee wants to meet with planning.
Yeah.
I mean, if the board's inclined, we could do number 20 and 23 tonight, as we're not going to get numbers on either of those. So number 20, if the board wants, is adopting Chapter 59, Section 50A, abatement for continued environmental cleanup. What this would do is allow us to negotiate unpaid taxes on properties that have pollution. So there's one of note, 47 Elm, that owes $450,000 in taxes, and this would allow the town manager to negotiate a way forward with economic development where they wouldn't be burdened by the full amount, where we could work out something so they could extend sewer, help the residents without a betterment. That's the next one. But this would just be another tool to encourage environmental cleanup, to clean up the town, and to promote economic development. As it stands, developers are really resistant to put all their own money in the line and start from a position of negative $500,000. So
who, using that as an example, the abatement, you'd be going after who? Because the original people who own the property do not exist anymore. Now that's been the problem. That's been
right.
in
So they actually transferred the deed for $1 to a new owner
of the Elm Street property where the building is, or across the street.
where the building is.
47 now, the building itself.
So the new owner has a $450,000 liability that they're not responsible for. Plus, God knows how much to clean up the pollution there. But we're working with them to look at federal grants, state grants, brownfields grants. This would just give us another tool in the toolbox.
So the abatement would be us charging who?
Would be us forgiving a portion of that tax, the unpaid taxes. So the previous owner owed $450,000 to us. We could say, repay $400,000 or $350,000 contingent on you bringing a sewer line here and serving 100 residents along the road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a negotiating tool. That's what it is. Because we can't go after the landowner because nobody owns it anymore. So that's the problem. Now we have a new landowner, and the same question came up the last time when we transferred the piece of land across the street. How can we sell a piece of land that has a land lien on it, and the bank didn't, or the federal court didn't have to pay it? It's the same thing again. They're selling it for $1. They don't care about what taxes are charged to it, and now the new landowner can say, well, you know what? They weren't my taxes. I just bought it for $1 and $1, and I don't owe a penny on it. So I don't know we're ever going to get any of that $450,000, but if it gives us an opportunity to negotiate for a better deal, then I'm all for it. If adopting this gives us more of an opportunity to negotiate on a different plateau, why not do it? It can't hurt anybody.
So, Mr. Chair, if I can ask the town manager, this is a mass general law that we would basically be adopting in our bylaws.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion that the select board recommend Article 20 for the town meeting.
We have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rich. Further discussion? Anyone?
No, sorry. I was just reading the Mass General Law.
You want to take a minute?
No. Okay. Okay.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Luciano?
Yes.
And I too vote yes.
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
Article
O'Neill?
number 23, I know that if there is a financial impact, then that would be through the water sewer revolving account, so it would not affect our general budget. So I'm willing to make a motion on that one to recommend as well, if the board is acceptable to that.
I'd like to have a little discussion on that.
Yeah, how about we get a second and we'll have a discussion?
Okay.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Ms. Luciano?
So this looks like it's removal of any mandatory tie-in, correct? So that means people could just decide, I don't want to tie in ever and not pay any abatement, which means the cost for the town, the portion for the town goes up. Correct?
Temporarily, yes, it would be an increase to the ratepayers. However, this administration is negotiating hard with developers, and we would get the developer to pay for the bulk of it. And so a smaller portion would fall on the water or sewer ratepayers respectively, and eventually it would fall into the system when the property is sold, transferred, or the owner passes away.
Well, that's specific to this one property, right? But this bylaw would mean for any future sewer.
23 is for any
Correct.
any future tie-ins, right?
Correct. And so my concern with that is that we could potentially have, as we want to continue to expand sewer, right, which is a desire of the town. If 80% of the people decide not to tie in, all the ratepayers are going to start to see significant increases over time because we don't have enough people paying those abatements to tie into the sewer, right?
Well, the way to set up right now is if you have failure, if your system fails, or if you're selling the property, you have to connect. So that's still part of our bylaw. What this is doing is it's giving us an opportunity. I'll give you a perfect example. 0 Mansfield Avenue, putting up, last I knew, 72, two buildings, roughly 72 units of housing. They want to come down Mansfield Ave into the center of town with a forced line to connect to the town sewage. It bypasses all the houses on all the property on Mansfield Avenue, because by having a gravity feed system, a conventional commercial system that we would build ourselves, what happens is the butters come forward and say, wait a minute, I just put $30,000 into my Title V system. I don't want to pay for betterments or for sewage going in front of my house. In my opinion, this opportunity here gives us a plan where we remove it, and yes, it is going to have an impact on betterment. If they make a connection, they're going to have to be charged for it at some point. Some kind of a betterment and a tie-in fee is going to have to be part of the process. And what this does is it takes away that elephant in the room that says, well, I'm in a butter and I don't want sewage and I don't have to pay for it, so you can't do that. So this developer is spending tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars putting in a forced line down the street that nobody can connect to. I'm a perfect example of that. On Pine Street, I have a sewer line going through my property. Actually, they came right across my front lawn with it. They forced it up the hill to the school where it becomes gravity feed. I can't connect to that. Even though I wanted to, I can't because of the way it's set up. So if the developer is already putting the money into putting in a forced system, this allows us the opportunity to say, neighbors, you don't have to worry about any kind of betterment until you have to make the connection. But this gives us an opportunity to say to the neighbors, yes, there's going to be a sewer line in front of you. If you sell it, your property, or if your system fails, you have to connect. And it gets that portion of the problem off our back, because they don't want sewer in front of the house if they feel they're mandatory that they have to connect. By taking out this 5 to 7 year tie-in, it gives us an opportunity to go to the developer and say, no more forced systems. We want gravity feed systems. We want to expand our sewer capacity. And as people along the way want to make the connection, then they have to pay into the betterment. But we're going to get a portion of that from the developer and not from the actual landowners, which is helpful when you don't have to do that.
It's not always the developer though, right? We want to certainly extend sewer up main roadways that we have today that aren't going to be precipitated by a developer coming in and saying, I need to have sewer up here. It's just a desire of ours, right, to make like 140 and 123.
23.
And we still negotiate with the property owners in that street, and we'll probably still take in hundreds of thousands, even though it's our project that we are initiating.
I understand, but if we remove the requirement to tie in, and there are people that decide not to, that's spreading the burden across all the taxpayers for the water, right? So my preference would be
The sewer users, not the taxpayers.
sewer users, sorry. My preference would be instead of removing the 5 to 7 would be to understand the burden, right? Is maybe making it a longer time period. 7 to 10, 10 to 15, some longer time period that requires them to tie in within a certain time period. But
by doing that, we have to immediately charge a betterment on the property. That's why we're trying to remove
And
this.
that discourages future growth.
right.
And we need growth to the tax base to keep the taxes low.
Mr. Chair, who was the sponsor of this article? Or do you know who originally
This
wrote
is
it?
a result of discussions with planning, with DPW even, with multiple
Water and
departments.
sewer, DPW, they were on board with us? There was a time.
They are. I mean,
there was-
it's a hit to the enterprise, as you know, Ms.
There was a time
Luciano
when
says.
they did not want to go from 5 to 7 because it was part of their revenue stream.
Retained earnings is very healthy in sewer.
Okay, good.
So I understand it reduces growth, but also it's going to reduce the number of projects we'll be able to do to expand the sewer because we won't have the budget to do that, the water sewer budget to do that.
Well, I think a perfect example of how this doesn't work is Elm Street, 47 Elm, where we tried to put in a sewer line down Elm Street, all the way down to Reservoir Street, and was shot down at town meeting because the abutters came out and said, we don't want to pay betterments, we don't want to connect the sewerage, and the article failed.
Right. In that instance, we should have presented that forced line you talked about. That's what we should have been using that in that specific instance. That would have been the better proposal.
Okay, so now we put a fourth line down Elm Street from 47 Elm back down to Main Street, and
Yep, they can't tie in.
the developer went through all the cost, and we can't tie into it.
Okay.
Mr. Rich, you have something?
What's the?
I was just going to say, that if the force lines do not allow any other residents to tie in, that it goes by to, your example. Same thing. What if any developer ends up wanting to do anything on Elm Street? They're going to do the same thing and put a force line just for the better of their project, and then no one on Elm Street in that critical environment, wetlands and conservation land, they'll have to put in septic systems as opposed to tying into a gravity system that should be on that street in the future.
But that's why it fails is because people don't want to tie into it. Right? So yeah,
Exactly.
people don't want to tie into it and pay the betterment fees, and so this is just now taking all the betterment fees and spreading it out across all the taxpayers, all water sewer payers.
The users.
Well, it's the water sewer users, and to your point, yeah, they don't want to tie into it because they would have to pay it. This article makes that so they don't have to. They're not forced to tie in and pay that. So only the two triggers that would cause a forced tie-in would be the sale of the property or the failure of the system itself.
Right. So the majority of the town that doesn't have the benefit of a sewer line is now going to see increased rates to pay for those that do have the benefit of a sewer line.
So let's use either Mansfield Ave or Elm Street as an example. Negotiating with those potential developers, the cost to do a gravity system or a force system are similar. They're definitely different, but they're similar. A gravity system would be more beneficial for the town, so we'd get those ratepayers in the future that would be tying into it, and that is where that incentivizes, the positive growth. There's Roger there. So that's my take on it. I think this promotes development, exponentially in the future.
If I could add to that, what it also does is it allows the town to negotiate a deal with the contractor, the developer of the property, but also included, in addition to that, we can go for state grants. Well, we can't go for a state grant on a force feed, but we can go for one for a gravity feed. So that's an opportunity that we could possibly do that we wouldn't be able to do on a private forced system.
I think we have to. We're in the mindset thinking about Elm Street, but there are so many other sewer projects that we have on our plate that do not involve a developer. So I think we have to get out of the mindset of this is specifically for Elm Street, because this is not. If we're making this change, this is not just for Elm Street. This is for everything going forward.
What's up, Bob?
That's definitely good. I do understand that. I'm not specific. We're used, but other towns and communities that I work in, this is absolutely part of the bargaining table, or on the bargaining table with the municipality. And it is a very good leverage point to be able to expand so keep in mind too, Denise, one thing is that developer's putting that line in, any project, whether it's, any project, say Valentine Tool wants to be redeveloped into something, they'd be contributing to it, that it's on their dime. So,
But
it's not.
like I'm saying, most of the time these projects are not due to a developer requesting it. It is just our desire to make like 140 and 123 better throughways for businesses to operate on, right? So we've talked about wanting those two main roadways to have sewer down both of them all the way from, Attleboro to Easton and from Taunton to Mansfield, right? We don't have that yet. And so these aren't necessarily tied to a developer. So we can't depend on the developer funds. This is town funds, but we won't be able to fund that if we don't have the money in the water sewer funds to be able to do that. This is actually make it harder for us as a town to be able to do those projects without having a developer.
But we can still go, unlike the forced system though, we can still go for grants. We're not going to build anything on West Main Street unless we go for a grant. We're not going to fund that. We have to find another way to do it. If the landowners on West Main, you mentioned Valentine too, across the street we have the Gulf City Plaza. I know their system's failing. They're having a real tough time right now. So if we expand West Main Street down to connect to one of our schools or both of our schools further down, we're not going to do that on our dime. We're going to go for state grants and try to get some kind of state funding to make us happen. If we put a forced main down that street by a private developer, we're not going to get anything from anybody. It's just going to be going to tear up the street and they're going to put a line down the street and that's going to be the end of it. So I think it's in our best interest to look at anytime we have an opportunity to work with a developer to put in a forced system to do that. And this bylaw restricts us because the abutters on that property are saying, no, I don't want to connect. I just put in a $30,000 system. I don't want to connect. And if we change it around where we can make this happen, and 5 years from now they have to replace their system, then they got to connect. We're at least getting some money from the developer and we're getting grant money. And even if we go on the streets where we don't have sewerage now, we're not doing that on our dime. We're going to ask for money, grant money, because I don't think town meeting's going to approve it. If we go up and say we want $10 million to put a water line, a sewer line down West Main Street, the town's going to say, okay, where's the money coming from? From the users. Well, that's not fair to them. That's going to be a major impact on them.
Grant money only pays a portion. Grant money is never going to pay for the whole thing.
Well, Elm Street, we had money to pay for the whole thing. They were going to pay for the whole sewer line, the state, through a grant, and we shot it down.
It was not the whole thing. It would have been the whole cost if it was a forced line. It was not the whole cost if it was a tie-in line.
It was $3.5 million for a gravity-fed system, halfway down to 47 Elm, and the replacement of a water line, which was an additional amount of money. But we would have been able to pretty much put sewage down there for next to nothing. The whole project included sewer and water. Now we're trying to put water only down Elm Street, and the state's going to maybe give us that $3.5 million to do just that, which is fine. We're hoping that happens. But we gave up on the sewer side of it.
Right, but it would have covered the cost of the gravity, not the tie-ins, the tie-in fee.
Correct.
We would have had to pitch in like $1.5 million, I think, whatever it was that the dollars were. Yeah.
Right.
Looks like we have Roger back.
Looks like he's trying to get. Looks like he's ready to take a nap. Roger, you there? I can't hear you.
So, Mr. Chair, long discussion, good discussion. We have a motion and a second on that article.
Right. Mr. Marsanka, you can hear me. We can't hear you.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay, we can hear you now. Okay. Have you heard the discussion, Mr. Marsan?
I heard some of it, for sure. Yep.
There's a motion and second on the floor to support Article 23, which is the removal of the mandatory 5 to 7 year sewer tie-in. Do you have any questions about that?
So I am a supporter of doing away with the 7-year moratorium on the tie-in.
Okay. And by the way, we should be clear on this, that any existing programs that are in place, this doesn't apply to. If you already have a sewer line in front of your house, this won't apply to you. This will be for any future tie-ins or any future development of sewage in Norton, so.
Is that how the bylaw is going to read? We
I
haven't
don't
seen
know.
it.
Haven't seen it.
Yes.
The answer is yes. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Marsan?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss
Luciano?
Miss Luciano? No, and I too vote yes. Thank you. So that's 4-1 on Article 23.
Mr. Chair, thank you for entertaining that. It's going to make the FinCom discussion easier, I think.
Or harder.
Or harder. Article 26, can we have an explanation of what that is? Amend the bylaws to refer the DPW director where appropriate to align with the charter and for appropriateness. That sounds like a logical approval as well. Or not as well, I'm sorry.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, the DPW director got here and took a look at the bylaws, and it just didn't make sense. So to make it make sense with the charter, to make the ordinances refer to the DPW director, just smooths it out as a common sense update. So that looks like it would be approval if the board's inclined to forward that.
I would prefer to see the changes. Is it throughout the entire bylaw, or is it sections?
Yes, it's approximately 7 to 10 changes. They're pending legal review, so it could take a couple weeks. I can certainly get it to you. And
Yeah, I'd prefer to see the changes before I vote on it,
I mean,
personally.
it's
So to be clear, this is basically taking the new position as the DPW director and planting that information back into our bylaws and charter to make it work. Is that basically what it's about?
essentially, it's just to make it legal and make sense. Like it would say now, like the supervisor of highway and water, and it should say DPW director because that's the only way the sentence aligns with the charter legally, and it will be reviewed by KP Law. I would suggest to go ahead and forward it, and of course I'll get it to you, and you could reconsider if necessary. But it's really just changing like Board of Selectmen to Select Board. It's one of these common sense changes.
Okay. Anyone? Any comments? What's the board's pleasure? Entertain a motion? Or do you want to sit on it and get more information?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Rich?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Article 26 as written for town meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Rich, Mr. Marsan?
Yes.
Any further discussion?
No.
All right, seeing none. Mr. Marsan?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Luciano?
I'm going to abstain. Sorry. I
Oh,
prefer
abstain.
to
That's fine.
not vote blind.
Yep. And I will vote yes. How about Article 27? I thought we had a sidewalk maintenance program already by law.
I hear that very often. Every time I
Because-
bring this up, someone says we have one, but we don't. We have a law that requires you, that penalizes you if you shovel snow onto a sidewalk.
We don't have one that keeps the sidewalk clear? I thought we adopted one
don't,
years
and-
ago. Maybe not.
You know, most modern cities and towns do, and that's the DPW's director's recommendation.
So what this bylaw, this change would be to, if you have a sidewalk in front of your house, you gotta keep it clear during a snowstorm or whatever.
Right, and it wouldn't be during the snowstorm. It'd be, 4 hours after the snow stops falling.
It's a bylaw. It's a new bylaw edition. I'd prefer to see that before we vote on it. Like I don't know what it says. Do you?
I mean, I have the template here. If you bear with me, I can pull it up.
I think we can wait till the next meeting. If those are the kinds of things I think we need to have to vote on. Like, what does the bylaw language state, and what does the warrant article state? Like, that's helpful to know before I'm voting on these articles. I feel like we're trying to vote blind on stuff just to check them off.
I agree with Denise.
We can hold off on this one.
On that one, I agree to hold off too. I like to see that.
And hopefully at the next meeting, we can talk about 25 as well, the stormwater and drainage easement. And if we can get those two voted on our next meeting, then the only thing remaining are finance articles, with the exception of the 140 and 123 intersection, which, by the way, I don't know anything about this public hearing or anything, so I don't know if I missed it along the way, but I'm curious to see what that's all about. But it looks like all the other items are finance items, so that'll hopefully put the finance committee in a better position.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to, like I said earlier, we're in a transition period, and we may not be in a position to take positions on these things prior to the finance committee. I mean, they may get information before we do. They meet Mondays and Wednesdays this time of year, most of the time, twice a week, where we meet once every 2 or 3 weeks. So they may be already getting information that we don't have before we have our next meeting. So I think we can hold off. This may be a year that's different than others, that's all.
That seems prudent. So we will get the numbers as soon as we can. It seems like mostly from DPW and the engineers, and get the other finance information to you shortly. I mean, the finance information, I don't anticipate that coming together with solid numbers. That would be 6 to 13 before April, so it'd be best to do that in April. The other numbers, I mean, I can certainly notify the board as soon as we have solid numbers for the rest of them, mostly DPW.
So, Mr. Chair, can we talk about Article 24 in this public hearing? Fill us in. What's this all about? Traffic Safety Committee?
So, yeah, we're in the process of the next step on the adoption of the town center. We have 3 options there that the engineers have put to us. And the plan is that we have to have a public hearing prior to town meeting for general input on the project. We're not taking a position, we're just showing the public what the options are. And talking to Mr. Chica the other day, I was pushing the fact that it's going to be on the warrant, so let's try to get this public meeting in place. I believe it was decided that in order to advertise it, which we have to do in the paper, and get it out to the public, that the earliest we could have it would be around April 1st. That would be the earliest. So I believe the work is already in place to try to get all this together, all this information together. And we're going to do a very good job of getting that information out to the public and let them know that there's going to be a public hearing. The next step is town meeting, and we're going to have to talk about it again at town meeting. So it's just the next step in the process for the redevelopment of the town center.
So I assume at town meeting, we're presenting the one option that we want to move forward with.
That's correct.
Why are we not deciding that before we go to the public meeting?
Well, we want to hear the public's opinion before we make our decision.
So we're making a decision after that public meeting about which of the paths we want to take, and then going to town meeting with the one pathway forward.
And by the way, the state may look at it and say, we don't agree, we're going to do it a different way. But we're trying to get a unified vote on how to proceed. So the public hearing is just to get people into a room and talk about the options, the 3 options, and try to narrow it down to one. And then the board and the FinCom will have to make a decision based on the what they feel is the right way to do it. So
I encourage everyone to attend that public meeting because there's one clear outlier in what makes traffic flow better.
When's the public meeting?
April 1st.
April 1st.
Well, first, that's right, I'll be there. At what time? At what time?
Good point.
Probably in the evening when people get home from work, 6,
Right here?
in this room.
Wait.
And I will note that we're putting our new DPW director to work. He's saving us about 10,000 plus from Beta. Beta will still be here, but they'll have a limited Q&A role rather than a presentation role. So we're saving about 9,000 there.
Beta is the engineering firm we hired to do the plans for us, the 3 options. There's actually 4 options. The 4th option is the way, leave it the way it is.
Well, that 4th option, by the way, through an informal Facebook survey, had about 350 respondents, more so than we see at town meeting, by the way. and the do nothing alternative was by far number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 was about half the votes, which is cutting behind the church. So I just hope that at the town meeting, we have a representative, sample of the community there to hear it all out. I know that you and the traffic committee, as well as Roger, have been working on this for quite a while, and I know you gave the select board a couple updates along the way. But the general public, I think, might be a little blindsided. So we need to advertise that April 1st meeting as well as the town meeting as well,
Right.
so that we get a good cross section of opinions at both.
I agree. Okay. Anything else?
No, it's good job.
Anyone out there, Mr. Rich, Mr. Marsan, you okay? Anything else?
All set? Yeah, all set.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second, so moved.
Second.
We have motion and second. Mr. Marsan,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. Luciano,
Yes.
and I do vote yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys.